Good morning, Keller, South Florida, and anybody else who's watching. My name is Ryan Yarbrough. I'm the Regional Technology Director for South Florida, and I'm joined here with our first session of the day with Tim Carithers. And he is with the United Home Group up in Atlanta, Georgia. Is that right?
That's correct. Close enough.
Close enough? Well, I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tim.
Absolutely. So I am one of those jarhead Marine veterans, so I'm a little hard-headed. I've been married to my wife of about 22 years just a couple weeks ago. Fun fact, we only dated for about 10 months before we got married. So fun times. We have 5 kids that call us Madre and Padre, and I've been doing this for a little over 3 years right now.
Oh, well. And what is your production like?
So I spend the majority of my time doing internet leads and sphere of influence. So database is kind of a fun thing for me. Currently, I am looking at about 4 different pended. I've got 6 listings coming, and we've got about 4 other internet leads that we're working with right now, hopefully making offers this weekend.
Congratulations, and thank you for joining us today. Today's session is called Now What? We've gone in depth and we've talked about doing your sphere of influence. We talked about online lead generation. We've talked about open houses. So if you're trying to do the 201 plus club, which we hope you all are, because I've got this graphic here that shows that if you're sitting over here with 0 contacts, your average commission rate is going to be about 14,000. However, you can see right here, when we get to this section right here, the 201 is when most people start getting above $100,000. And that's typically, when we're talking to agents, what they're aiming for as a goal when they get into the real estate business. Now, of course, I'd love to see everybody up over in this section over here. However, this is a good place to start. So let's get 201 contacts into your database, start working them. And today's session is that now what? So you got those 201 from those different resources. Now, Tim is going to take this class today, and he's going to tell you what to do with those contacts once you've got them in and how he's converting them at a high level. So he's actually got 2 sessions today. He's going to start off today, and then we're going to have Lindsay Springsteen from down in Fort Myers. She's been a rock star. We've had her on once before. She's been amazing, and she's actually started building her team. So we want to bring her on and have her show you how she's been converting at a high level after Tim's done with his first session. And then Tim's going to rejoin us again and finish up for the day. Typically on Take Command, we do have a Spanish session. So I'm going to show here. Tim's starting from 9 to 9:30. Lindsay's jumping in at 10 to 10:30. And then Tim is going to go again at 11. And typically we do have a Spanish session. This month we will not have a Spanish session. If you are a Spanish leader in your market center or an agent in your market center and you want to come on to Take Command and teach a Spanish session, we're always looking for good instructors. So feel free to reach out to either myself or your market center tech trainers. So Tim, I'm going to give this session to you and let you go ahead and teach us how to follow through, not follow up, right?
Man, absolutely. It's one of my favorite phrases that my coach, who is Spencer Combs, actually a PC down there in the Miami area. And it was a statement he gave me, I guess about a year ago, that completely changed my business from follow up, right? Hey, I'm just calling to follow up on what? Versus following through. Hey, the last time we spoke, we were talking about X. How's that going? It just sounds different. But when I look at 201 contacts or more in your database being in command, the first question that comes to mind is, I have all these people, but where are they? How do I use them? Where do I find them? Things of that nature. And so when I look at it, I kind of look at it like this. If you were to get your purchase and sale agreement, you have it over here from one closing, you've got another piece of legal document from over here, you've got some tax papers from over here, right? You've got all these files everywhere, and you're just shoving them all into one drawer in your filing cabinet. It's not the most efficient and effective use of our time, especially when we're needing to be in contact with our people. So one of the first things I looked at when we put all of these people into our database is, how do I organize them? Right? I need a logical and consistent system that's going to allow me to be able to find my contacts quickly, know who I need to contact, when I need to contact them, and so forth. So when I look at it, I shot Ryan a quick little handout I'm going to give to each of you today on what my tag groups look like, right? And the way that I look at this is you've got one filing cabinet, and in that filing cabinet, you have different file folders. For an example, where did your leads come from that are in your database? Because not all leads are the same, right? So you've got your sphere of influence. For me, those take a lot higher precedence than, say, a sign call or a for sale by owner, right? Meanwhile, did they come through an internet lead? We're going to interact with those people in a different way. And so sometimes you just want to be able to sort those 201 or more people, we hope. We hope that you're able to sort those by those particular groups, right? And so that when you're following through, you're calling back about that sign call. You're not just, hey, I'm following up on a call that you made, or where did you're having to research where did they come from. And I don't know about you, but I like to try to have the same dialogues at a time, right? So if I have 10 people from the internet leads that I need to call, right? I want to be able to call all 10 of those at one time. I don't want to have to call an internet lead, then a sphere of influence, then a for sale by owner, right? I just want to get in a rhythm of having the same type conversations. So putting these tags on people are vitally important to what I do and how I am able to convert internet leads and my sphere at a higher level, right? So I don't know about you all, but we only have 24 hours in a day. And as I said in the opening, I do have 5 kids and a wife of 22 years, and I like to have a little bit of free time. So time is of the essence. So getting these labels in are going to be vitally important. And then you're also going to look at, right, what's the call schedule look like? When do I call them? How do I call them? What list do I need to be calling? We've got 201 people or more in your database. How do we provide a system that's both comprehensive and cohesive to get the scheduling done, right? So let's jump into a little bit about tags. So they're all very, very simple. You're putting people into your database, whether you're doing it now or whether you're going back to add the tags later. There's really 5 groups of tags that I use. Okay. The first one is what I was just mentioning, the source. Where did they come from? Because where they came from is important of how we're going to interact with them. The priority level. For me, I use 4 main priority levels. A hot lead, that's someone that's going to buy between now and the next 3 months. We're going to look at a nurture lead. Nurture is going to be someone who is looking to purchase in the next 3 to 6 months for me. A watch is going to be someone who's 6 months to a year or more, right? And then the last one that I use is the pond. The pond means that's where a lot of my friends are right now, right? This is a lot of where my family resides right now. They're not looking to buy or sell right now, but they do need to be in my database, and I have to have a plan to communicate with them. The other one is one that everyone here at Keller Williams should have, and that's the DTD2. It's very simple, 13 tags that you're able to put on each of your people. And we're going to build a system for that. I have one for informational. All of us probably have agents in our database, or at least you should, right? Or you have that person. I'm not naive to the fact that not everyone has an agent. Everyone knows an agent, right? However, I do have friends that have worked with other agents. I'll leave my feelings out of that for now, but I want to know who those people are, right? If I find out a phone number changed, or if I find out an email changed, I may label that as bad information so that when I go into my admin time, I may try to work through some of those and try to correct some of those, find them else some other way, and get that information changed. We need to be maintaining our database in that format. I have some that are just in there that, hey, I'm just going to put them on a text blast. So I have a tag for text blast, right? One of the things we're going to talk about in the second session is what I call my 12-day press. This is for any new lead that goes into my database and how we're going to have that conversation. And then the fifth group are my call list. As I coach a lot of agents, one of the things I hear is I don't know who to call, or I'm running out of people to call. So by building tags for particular call list, I can look at that list every week. For example, first-time home buyers. You have people in your database that have never bought a home before. If you decided to do a home buying seminar, those would be some of the best people to reach out to, right? So why not create a tag where you're always going to be able to pull that list quickly and easily, right? What about people that are active on your app right now? Do we have a tag for those, right? I have a tag, as we just threw it in the chat, but I have one of the tags that literally says most recent. I want to know who the most recent people who are there just logged in. We know that studies say 18 to 24 months for them to buy. That doesn't mean wait 18 to 24 months to have a conversation with them. So when they're most active, that's when I want to have that conversation. The last login, who are the people who recently logged in? Have a conversation with those, right? Because that way we now have a systematic way to find everyone in our database. I would say on average in my database, the average person has at least 3 to 4 tags, right? Because they may fall on different lists, but it's going to help me make sure I get those contacts. Now, once we have all these labels, right? So now we can take, if let's just say we're going to stick with 201. Let's say you have 201 contacts. Not all 201 need to be on the same list. So now we're able to break our database down into bite-sized pieces so that we can then actually convert those leads. I don't know about you, but I can't sit down and dial for 3 hours straight. It's just not going to happen. I can dial for 3 hours, but it's not going to be all at one time. So let me take bite-sized pieces and look at, say, a hot tag and say, okay, I have 10 people I need to have a conversation with, right? Or I need to look at my DTD2. These are the 19 people I need to have a conversation with this week, okay? This breaks those down into bite-sized pieces. But now what does the schedule look like? All right, we put some tags on these things. What does the schedule look like? How do we call them? So I'm going to give you some of mine. You find what works for you, but this is what has worked incredibly well for me. A hot lead. Hot leads, I am going to call them every single Monday. Every Monday, we're going to call a hot lead, okay? Because they just got through the weekend. Maybe they found something they liked. Maybe we looked at 3 or 4 homes this weekend. Maybe they're finally ready to make that jump and we need to get them ready by the weekend, okay? So call the hot leads first Monday, every Monday. Nurture leads, I call bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, right? We just want to stay in contact. We want to have something to follow through with. Hey, last time we spoke, we talked about going ahead and getting that pre-approval done. How is that going? Right? So we want to be able to follow through with those people. The watch label or tags. In the watch tag, they're 6 months to a year out. We want to have a conversation with them, but we don't want to over communicate with them. And yes, that would be a thing if you're 24 months out and you're having a conversation with them every week. It's a tougher conversation to have. And then we have My Pond. Now, My Pond typically is going to operate through the DTD2. That resource we've thrown in the chat for you as well. So with the DTD2, we're going to call 2 letters of the alphabet every single week. There it is on your screen right there. We're going to call 2 letters every single week. And we're going to text 1 letter every single week. There's some quick steps on how you can do this. And here's a thing that one of my other coaches gave me that I absolutely love with the DTD2. because those should be the easiest people for you to call. I have to earn the right in my own schedule to call my DTD2 people every Friday. If I don't set the number of appointments that I need, if I don't have the number of contacts that I need, whatever my goals are for that week, if I have not met those goals by Thursday evening, I have to go work on those goals on Friday, and I'll have to call my DTD2 on Saturday. I don't mind calling my friends on Saturday. That's fine. However, I'd much prefer to spend it with my kids outdoors. It's summertime. I'd much rather be doing that than calling my DTD2 on Saturday. So, quick little fun incentive, because lead gen should be fun, right? Set a goal every week. Get there by end of Thursday so that you can have fun calling your sphere on Friday. But we're going to call them every Friday. But let me make sure we're very, very clear here, because this is where I messed up early on. Just because they're a hot lead and you call them every Monday does not mean that every hot lead is equal. Not every nurture lead that's 3 to 6 months is equal. And the importance of understanding that is, yes, you have a regimented schedule for calling the hot, the nurture, the watches. However, each of those may need additional conversations throughout the week, right? Or throughout the month, or during their time. That's where tags come back in. You can create other mini tags, right, that are more in line with what that client or that person in your database needs. But it's a quick start, right? So DTD2, call them every week. I call them every Friday. We use a quick format. I use Ford. I love Ford, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. But here's the thing, when you're calling those, you don't have to ask all 4 of those at the same time. If you're going to call them 4 times in the year, why not break it down? Ask them about their family one time. Ask them about their dreams. Ask them about, hey, what are you doing for work? You guys.
Hey, Tim, do you mind if I cut in there just a little bit?
100%, man.
What you're saying is extremely important, and I want to make sure everybody gets that. Like, I personally use those as tags. Like, I have a whole list of tags that are in there specifically for that reason, just so I can target them in my database and have conversations about things that matter to them. So family, like if I'm creating a event or something like that, and it's going to be more family oriented, then having a tag in there that shows like they're married with kids or they just have kids or something like that is extremely important, because I can filter based upon that. Or like you're up near the Atlanta area. I'm down in the Tampa Bay area, and I'm a big Rays fan, and we're playing the Braves, and I want to like maybe just joke around with you guys a little bit. I can go through tags like that and sort through it and send off specific things like that, and like sending off an article or something like that, just to share something that means something to you. Because you're more likely to open that email or that text that I send you if it has something to do with those things you care about and forward than it is for me sending you rent versus buy. Would you agree?
100%. And like I said, that's, Ryan, that's where those mini tags come in, right? I do actually have some that are labeled. Unfortunately, they say Miami Hurricanes fan. I don't know what to do with that, but, but then again,
Miami Hurricanes fans on here. So,
I learned years ago about my database, though, something that one of our coaches mentioned about putting people from my phone into my database is like, look, if you're going through that name and you find that person and it says, look, if you saw them in a grocery store or a shopping mall, whatever, and you would duck and cover and not have a conversation with them, they probably don't need to be in your phone. They're a waste of time and a waste of space. Unfortunately, that's where the Florida Gator fans went and that were in my phone. They're gone. We don't do orange in my family, but no, in all seriousness, put those things in there, because you're right. Like I have what I also label as DINK, DINK, dual income, no kids. When you come across a great investment property, those are great people to send that to, right? They're dual income. They don't have kids. Man, they're either career focused. Now, there's other reasons they may not have kids, but a lot of times they have additional resources, right? I don't know about you, but 5 kids for me, I mean, they'll leave me broke on a daily,
Yeah.
right? I'm
All the
like,
different
man,
activities they've got. Absolutely.
like my 5 kids are my investment properties at this point. So,
At the
but
same
again,
time, that's something you could be focused on for like you've got those dinks that you can focus on for that.
mhm,
However, those people with those kids, you can focus on them for something else. Like you're having more kids. We need to upgrade. Just knowing
mhm,
those things are really, really important. So as you're going through that database, throwing those tags in there are extremely important. I do have a list of tags that I typically will give out to agents, and I like to put emojis on the tags just to make them a
mhm,
little bit more lively and so I can decipher because once you have all these words just blocked onto a place, they kind of just become a big blur. So emojis do help. That's one of my pro tips right there. Also, just using these things for exactly like I said. If you're going to send text messages or emails or anything like that, and you want to get somebody's attention, the best way to get their attention is to talk to them about something they're interested in, not what you're so interested in, which is going to be real estate. They may have interest in real estate, but you can do wealth building and stuff like that as well. That's part of the whole dreams part of it, I think, on forward.
100%. I look at that, Ryan, when you showed the graph a few minutes ago, and that's kind of where I live, right? Like, I didn't come from money. I didn't come from some crazy real estate business degree, right? I came from the bottom. It's like, look, man, I want to change my family's financial tree. So I'm going to have to do that through my database, right? Yeah, for sale by owners and expireds, those are all fun. But man, isn't it better to have a conversation with people
Absolutely.
that you like, that are like you, that you actually have built rapport with? I actually just did a closing yesterday with a couple that took a year to move from California to Atlanta. We built an incredible relationship, right? Like, I'm already invited to the housewarming party. We've already gone to dinner a couple times, right? And little things like that. I am a military veteran, so was he. So, right, like in my database, I have a lot of military tags,
Yeah.
right? I mean, when it's the Air Force's birthday, I'm going to send them a happy birthday. That's not something that needs to go to everybody. So, those mini tags are hugely important, right? So, we can really break that stuff down. And then we have, of course, my 12-day tag, which you will have to come back the afternoon at 11 for that part. But this is a mixture of text, email, and phone calls from one tag with different reminders set up so that we know how we're best communicating with a new lead, right? That new lead that comes in, I can't treat them like a DTD2 and only call them once a quarter. Chances are I've lost that person. So knowing that information makes it, makes it so much more personal. I don't know about you, but I'm in my early 40s and can't remember anything,
Yeah.
right?
Especially
So
when it
I'm
comes to
like,
names. Thank goodness for
right.
CRM.
So you look at the tags, right? And I can look at the tag and then I can go break that down, and then look at the notes and say, okay, these are the 3 people I want to call, right? I actually did that Friday and we created a quick online watch party for Messi playing in Miami. I pulled up my DTD2 and I pulled up all of my soccer people and was like, hey, look, anyone that wants to jump in, this is what we're doing. And so I did a live watch party at a local brewery
Nice.
just by following the tags. So hugely
I'm gonna.
beneficial.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, so I'm gonna get off of here and let you finish up because you've got
Yeah,
a few more minutes. But
let's
I
wrap this thing
appreciate
down.
you let me interrupt.
No, no problem. So yes, so our tags for everybody on the call. Tags are the way to get organized and then get intentional with our database, right? So if you treat each one of those calls that are those lists that are on your screen right now as a filing cabinet, and within each filing cabinet, you've got your sphere in a drawer, you've got call center in a drawer, client in a drawer, because then within each of those, you may have additional tags that you're going to be able to sort and find these people quickly and efficiently, because that's what we're about, right? I don't know about you, right? We've all seen the joke, I quit my 8 to 5, right? I quit to work, not work 40 so that I can work 80. I hate that joke. I much prefer to quit the 40 to work about 20. Now, we all know we're not working 20 hours, right? Let's understand that. But can we be more efficient in the time we are using for our business, right? So if I know exactly where to find that list, I know how to get there. Now, once I pull that list, I automatically know, because of my schedule, what I'm calling, what list I'm calling, right? So that I can be the most efficient to get through my database, right? Because here's the thing, 200, just 201. 201. It's great that they're in there, but do we have a system that's going to make sure we are accurately and efficiently connecting with all 201 based on where they are in your database and pipeline, right? I just said I closed one that took a year to get there. He was a sphere of influence referral, but we had to work for a year. It's fine. Not a problem. I took a year, set up the right tags. We were able to follow through. And then we all have heard the whole phrase, right? Failing to plan is just planning to fail 100%. So put 201 people in there. I've done it. I think I put about 450 and then had no plan for how to actually communicate with all of them. Because you can't call 450 people. Well, you can, but 450 people every single week. Some are going to get annoyed with you because they have no intention to buy, right? Some are going to just run out of things to talk about because you haven't built a relationship long enough yet, right? So finding that right system is going to be hugely important. I use my tags to do that. Putting names in a database is easy. Tagging them is the way to go. You've got both of the resources, both the DTD2 schedule. You can start that this week. Just start wherever you are. Find July 24th, which would have been yesterday, and just start with that list. You have all of my tags right there that I use, my main ones. I don't give you all of my mini ones because all of y'all aren't Braves fans or dog fans or anything like that. So you can add those as you want as a sixth group, right? What other or put them in the informational group. I don't care. But put those things in there. So again, my name is Tim Carithers. I am based in Athens, Georgia, but as we have all learned, Atlanta is Georgia. So just if it's in Georgia, absolutely, I am your guy. My email is timothycarithers@unitedhomegroup.com. My phone number is 706-818-0813. You can also find me at LINQAPP, so linkapp.com/Tim_Carithers. That will give you all of my social media, all of my contact information. You'll also see this is what I send to every single person in my database. So they can download my contact information, follow me on social media, those type things, as well as leave Google reviews and see what playlist I'm playing this week. So guys, ladies, I thank you for your time. I look forward to getting back here at 11 to talk about adding some smart plans to these tags.
All right, Tim. So the next 30 minutes, they're going to be going and meeting with their market center tech trainers, hopefully, and they're going to be trying to implement some of the stuff you gave them. So what are the tasks that you'd like them to go and accomplish?
Look at your tags. Look at your people. Pull them up. How many people do you have in your database that don't have tags? Or go ahead and start creating those tags so that you can go through your database and get them tagged. That's the first thing first. Get them tagged so we can start to then work them based on those.
Okay. So the tags that he's talking about that you can use, I've gone ahead and I've put them in the chat there. Also, there's a QR code in the top right-hand corner right there. You can use that to scan it, and it will give you the Google Drive that we've put all of his resources in. The resources are also there for his next class. So if you're going to be attending the next class, they're there for you, and we'll put that back up during that class as well. I just put everything that he gave me into one folder there, and it's ready for you to go. We are going to take a break from on here. Do not log off. We will go ahead and put some music on during the break and then let you guys go ahead and implement some of these strategies. So being able, now that you've got all these contacts in your database, being able to strategically group them into groups to make it easier for you to contact them is the first step here. And then we're going to show you some more conversion strategies here coming up soon. So stay tuned and go and implement this. You got 30 minutes to implement this. Shouldn't take that long to put tags in. If you don't know what a tag is or don't know how to operate tags and all, please, again, get with your market center tech trainers. They're a very important part of your life here at KW because they do help you with the technology. Whether you're using Command or any other CRM, the best one to use is the one that you're going to use. It can be right in your phone. One thing I would like to mention, if you don't have 201 contacts yet, I would suggest you go download the Command mobile app. And once you get that app in your hand, you can go into the top corner of it under the contact section, and you can do an import from your phone. All your contacts that are in your phone already will be imported directly into Command. Don't worry about what they look like. All right, just get them into Command, and then from Command right on your desktop, you can go ahead and start cleaning them up right from in there. Choose them just as Tim has shown you. Go through and tag them, put some sources in, put in any other missing information you possibly can, and then start going back and cleaning them up, okay? That is amazing. I've had a lot of people I've been working with in coaching, and those people I've been coaching, when I tell them to start going through and cleaning them up, it takes them forever to get to the next coaching session because they keep saying they're too busy. The reason they're too busy is not because they're cleaning them up. It's because they're going in there and talking to these people and starting conversations, and they're getting busy with business again. So don't fall victim to not cleaning the rest of your database up. Keep doing it and set realistic goals for cleaning up. A lot of times say if you can at least clean 10 a day, you're going to be good, all right? If you can do 20 a day, you'll go a little faster. It just depends on how big your database is. MRIA states if you were to go ahead and put every one of those people on a 36 touch, if you have 100 contacts in your database, that should equal about 6 deals a year. So imagine if you just stayed in contact with all 200 people, that'd be about 12 deals a year. So how many deals do you want to do? Go in and play with your contacts, get them updated, talk to them. You have to talk to them. That's going to be your first touch, right? So that's the first step. And there's lots of other plans we'll talk about today to get going with that. All right, Tim, thanks for joining us. I'll see you at 11.